first thing we're going to look at is density. Okay, because when you use volume, you can use volume to measure density. The density of an object is the mass of the object per square unit of volume. The symbol we use for density is the lowercase Greek letter rho. Just looks like a P, fancy P, but it's rho. Mathematically, density, rho is density. Density is mass, how much something weighs, divided by V, its volume, how much it holds. Okay, so different objects and materials have different densities. Think about things that float in water versus things that just when you skip a rock, it just goes right down to the bottom. So those have different densities. There's a reason for that. So we're going to calculate the density of the following objects in pounds per cubic centimeters. Round your answer to 4 decimal places. So 1 gallon of water weighs about 8.33 pounds. So we're going to find its density. The gallon of water, that's its volume. 8.33 pounds is its mass. That's how much it weighs. So if I want to find its density, I do mass divided by volume. But we're trying to do in cubic centimeters. So I can't just put a gallon of water. So we're going to do P, or rho, equals 8.33 pounds divided by 3,785.4118 centimeters cubed. Okay? So we can't just divide by 1 gallon, so we have to convert the gallon to, that's why the conversion rate is there. So if I divide, we're going to round to 4 decimal places, 0.0022. Okay. Now, let's look at a block of wood. It weighs 164 grams. That is its mass. But let's convert the mass to pounds, because we want pounds per cubic centimeters cubed. So before we do the volume, let's convert the mass. So the mass is 164 grams, and 1 pound is 453 point whatever grams. So I'm going to divide. You're going to divide because you can take the grams out. So then those cancel. So 0.3616 pounds. Okay, so that's its mass. Now let's find the volume of the block of wood. What shape is that block? A rectangular prism. Sorry, I couldn't hear some of you. So the volume is just length times width times height. So the volume's 2.82, 7.45, 13. Okay, whenever you have a rectangular prism or square prism, just multiply all 3 numbers. That's all you got to do. $273.117 centimeters cubed. That's really bad, 3. Now I'm going to take this number, and I'm going to take this number, and I'm going to find the density of the wood. So rho is 0.3616 divided by 273.117. These are going to be small numbers. That's okay. .0013. So that's the density of the block of wood. We got the density of water. Now we're going to find the density of an average American male that weighs 196 pounds and has a volume of .074 meters cubed. So I'm already this mass. Did you say below average? This is its mass. We're okay with, we don't have to convert. I need to convert the volume from meters cubed back to centimeters cubed. So 1 cubic meter is 1 million cubic centimeters. So am I going to multiply this number or divide it? I'm going to multiply it. So 0.074 times a million. It's really hard to see that in the calculator. So 74,000. So the volume is 74,000. Which we figured out yesterday, our crash test dummy was like 80. So maybe he's short. So his density is 196 divided by 74,000. So 0.0026. So these are the three we need to know. Water's at 0.0022. Block of wood's at 0.0013. Our average American male is at 0.0026. So density, on the next page, is related to the buoyancy of an object. Less dense fluids float on more dense fluids, as long as the fluids do not mix. For instance, oil and water do not mix. In oil spills, the oil floats to the top of the water because oil is less dense than water. So this concept can be extended to a solid's ability to float on liquids. So if we look at our three densities, water had a density of 0.0022. The piece of wood had a density of 0.0013. And our average American male had a density of 0.0026. So we have to compare these two to our water. Less dense fluid will float, more dense will sink. So do you think our wood is going to float or is it going to sink? Isn't this number smaller than this number? So the wood will float. What's going to happen to our average American male? He'll sink. Okay. I'll give you an example. My parents live on a lake. Bless you. The dock that we have for the boat is wood. The water is so high right now that we put in dock last weekend and it floated away. Because it floated right off the A-frames and floated into the shore. Now, granted, it floated back to my parents' house. Because that's the way the water flows. But, yeah. And we didn't do the whole thing. We only did like half. Yeah. So what do people do typically to keep the docks down is they'll put cement blocks down or they'll put something heavier to keep the wood from floating away. Because wood is less dense than water. Okay. Population density. So now we're going to get into social studies. We'll do social studies today. Population density is the measurement of population per unit of area. So we're going to look at area just a little bit today. Especially when it comes to your homework, you're going to have to do area. So we're going to look at the population density of two of the following states. Round your answers to the nearest hundredth. So it's people per square mile is what we look at for population density. So this is a mock-up of the state of Nevada. It's got 2 million some odd people. We want to find its population density. So first of all, I got to find the area of the state. So how can we find the area of this thing? Can I cut it anywhere? There? So I'm going to label this 1 and this 2. If I cut it, it's a rectangle and a triangle. You don't have to find the area of a rectangle and the area of a triangle. So the rectangle is just 208 times 320. $66,560. And then I'm going to add the area of our triangle. What's the triangle formula? Base times height cut in half. The base is still 320. This side length is still 320. But how big is it from here to here? Yeah, how'd you figure out 275? Good. Do 483 minus 208. It's not cut in half. A lot of you guys made that mistake on the quiz or the homework where you just cut it in half. It's not cut in half. So from here to here is 275 because this is also 208. Makes sense? So 320 times 275 cut in half. $44,000. So when I add it together, the state of Nevada is 110,560 square miles. So to find the population density, it's people per square mile. So I'm going to take the amount of people and I'm going to divide it by the area. Now population density doesn't have a so we're going to take the amount of people divided by the area. So we get 24.95 people per square mile. A square mile, in terms of visualization, think about the park is about 1 square mile. Because from Warren to Joy is a mile. From Canton Center to Beck is probably a mile. Just about. So it's about 1 square mile. Most roads are about a mile apart in Canton. So let's look at Tennessee. Do we think Tennessee has a population of 6 million people? Do we think it's more dense or less dense? Probably more dense. So now we got to figure out we're going to have to break this up into 3 parts for Tennessee. Because I can draw a line here and draw a line here. Now Tennessee's going to be a little harder to work with, but there is an order we got to go. I want to do this triangle first, then the middle rectangle, then this little guy. Because the problem is, for my triangles, a lot of them I don't know the base or the height. Because we can measure the side lengths for Tennessee. Apparently we didn't measure in between. So to do the first triangle, here's our problem. We need base times height cut in half. But I don't know the height. But if I make this my triangle, what can I do to find this side? What do we learn this year? Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to do 135 squared plus x squared equals 171 squared. Okay, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to find my height. 18225 29241. If I subtract them, 11,016. So I'm going to take the square root of that. 104.96. Okay, so that's the height here and over here, because that's going to come in handy later. So, my first triangle, base times height divided by 2. So 135 times 104.96 divided by 2. $7,084.8. Then I'm going to add the rectangle in the middle. Now, from here to here is 440 miles, here to here is 135. So what's this middle part? Can you subtract? Yes, 305. So we're still using a lot of stuff that we've learned this year, just in a different way. So rectangle there is going to be 305 times 104.96, base times height. $32,012.8. Now, before I write it, the third triangle, the base or the height's 104.96. What do you think this little guy is? 58, because it's the 363 minus the 305. See how that works? We don't even need the 120. So triangle 3 is going to be 58 times 104.96 cut in half. That's why if you don't start on the right side and work your way left, it gets kind of weird. Oops. Don't ask me what I was just doing in that calculator. 3,043.84. So if I add them all up, I get 42,141.44 square miles. So Tennessee itself, the state, is even smaller. Because Nevada was 110,000 square miles. Tennessee is only 42. We would do Michigan, but that would be really hard to break up. So, for my population density, it's people per square mile. So I'm going to take my 6 million people and divide it by my square mileage. And you get 153.2 people per square mile. So Tennessee has a bigger population density. So a lot of times when you go to when people look up countries, part of my political science class, I had to look up all these certain things about different countries. And one of them was population density. Because it gives you an idea of, okay, Nevada is mostly desert. So there's a few concentrated areas that have people, but it's more rural. Whereas Tennessee, a lot of people just live there because it's not as, there's mountains and stuff. But okay, questions?